So finally, we're coming up to the eastern wall, the last wall of my collection, and we're kind of going to start and do this a little differently. We're going to start over here. This is a wall of different periodicals that are Stephen King related, or about Stephen King, or written by Stephen King. Like on this Batman, a lot of people may not realize it. He's a big Batman fan. He did a special introduction on this one. He wrote a story for that one. Sleeping Beauty is based off of, the Sleeping Beauty story he wrote with his son. He's in a couple different heavy metals. He's in that weird book number 19. That's just a Stephen King inspired, Mad magazine cover. And then it comes over here and I have the Tommyknockers. I call this my Aliens section. It says Stephen King Aliens. So we have the Tommyknockers, and I made a Tommyknocker lamp with the movie and a figure. Now that figure is actually an X-File alien, but they look very similar to the aliens from the Tommyknocker movie, so I included it. Which, random fact, the aliens from the Tommyknocker figures were actually unused special effects from Sleepwalkers. They were an alternative design for the Sleepwalker characters that they didn't use, and they used them for the movie The Tommyknockers. Random. And then Dreamcatchers, more aliens. Now this one actually kind of comes around the corner there, and you go with the movie poster. And then down here, this is all different periodicals, magazines, comic books, Creepshow, The Stand, Dark Tower. Then you've got some Stephen King books on the bottom shelf there. And then, here are Playboys, Cavalier magazines, Penthouses, a lot of the adult magazines he wrote stories for, along with, the Pop Funko figures, Castlewood newsletters, and Stephen King library catalog calendars. So those are all my periodicals, and you come around the corner here. Now, normally right here, there's a chair, and so this is my little reading nook when I do want to read. And we come around to this side, and, we've got more Stephen King books. And then I have my collections where these are the 3 books in one, except this one's actually 4 books in one. And then the 3-pack box set. I call this the Holy Trinity, Carrie, Salem's Lot, and The Shining, the Stephen King Holy Trinity. And then that brings us up to the top of this where, we have Bag of Bones, The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon. I've got 2 copies of the pop-up book, the Mr. Mercedes series. Come down here to Pet Sematary. You got the glow-in-the-dark figures, the movies, the Pop Funko figures. And then like these, the reason I have so many copies of these is there was a misprint where on the back of the book, it talks about Tabitha's book that comes out that year. And it says either 1982 or 1983. 1983 is correct. 1982 is the misprint. But I've got, the small copy, one that says 83, 82, one that says 83, 82, and 82. So that's why I have so many of that one. I don't think it makes them worth anything. It's just kind of a cool random thing to know. And down here we have, Cujo with the poster and the movies, some box sets, and then Carrie with the different Pop Funko figures, Christine. Now, Desperation and Regulators, keep those 2 together, since they do go together in the cover. Dark Tower, we got the book and the movies. And then that is actually a Dark Tower IBM game for your computer that I had picked up on eBay. So kind of cool there. Then we have like Danse Macabre. I don't know how you pronounce it, but I've got several copies of that there. Secret Windows, that was a special, you had to be like a book club member to get a copy of that. It was limited. Eyes of the Dragon, more Stephen King books. 4 Past Midnight. And then that brings us to the Shining section, which is another big section. Not as big as my Pennywise section, which you can see it's right next to, but close. There's a picture of me next to the picture of Stephen King at the Stanley Hotel. I got a shot glass that says, "All work and no play makes Ken a dull boy." Some postcards from Stanley, different books, DVDs. Now that ketchup bottle, that's actually, when we went to the Stanley, it was during COVID time, and so everyone got their own individual bottle of ketchup. I kept mine sealed and brought it as a souvenir. Got some Lego figures, Pop Funkos, hats, posters, twins, lanyards, all sorts of fun things that you can pick up. Again, this is another one of the more commercialized one of his works, like Pennywise is, so it's a lot easier to pick up merchandise and stuff that is from The Shining than some of his other stuff, so that's pretty cool. Dr. Sleep is right over here as well. I keep that together, so yeah. But that is my Eastern Wall, so that kind of brings the tour together, so you can kind of see where it all goes, back to the beginning to Creepshow. So hope everybody is staying safe and keep reading.